Okay, now I started this at 7:30 and it's about 7:45, so it's barely been 15 minutes.
Plants may surely appear to be harmless, but they can contain some of the world's most lethal poisons. These plants may cause harm to adults, and even to young ones. With this list, you may learn about some of the most notorious plants and their toxins. Stay tuned. Manchineal. In Florida, the manchineal tree, Hippomane mancinella, is a tropical evergreen tree. It's commonly called a beach apple since its leaves and fruits look like those of an apple. Manzanilla de la Muerte, little apple of death, on the other hand, is a more appropriate translation of its Spanish name. Eating the plant's fruits contains a variety of chemicals that can kill you or create sores in your mouth and esophagus. The milky sap contains phorbol, an unpleasant chemical that induces a severe skin allergic reaction. Raindrops falling through the tree can collect phorbol and cause anyone standing beneath it to be burned. Simply touching the tree might cause blisters. The sap has long been used to poison arrows by Native Americans, and it's believed that explorer Juan Ponce de Leon died from one on his second voyage to Florida. Poison ivy. The chemical urushiol is found in poison ivy, Toxicodendron radicans, as well as its close relatives. Touching nearly any portion of these plants causes contact dermatitis, a severe, itchy, and painful skin inflammation. Even more terrifying, urushiol can attach to clothing, shoes, tools, dirt, or animals that have come into contact with the plants, poisoning an unwary victim later. If you've been hiking through underbrush areas with these plants, be sure to remove your clothing and wash it quickly away so the outside doesn't come into touch with your skin. The rash can last for 1 to 3 weeks and is typically self-limiting. I can imagine how this really feels. Stinging nettle is a stinging plant that stings when it is touched. The stinging nettle, Urtica dioica, is a stinging nettle endemic to Eurasia, North America, and Northern Africa, with some population in South America. The leaves and young stems of this herbaceous plant are covered in stinging hairs, capped with formic acid and other irritants. When these needle-like hairs come into contact with the skin, they release stinging acid, which causes a burning, tingling sensation, as well as an itchy rash. The symptoms, thankfully, usually only last a few hours. Surprisingly, the cooked plant is edible, and it is consumed as a vegetable in many countries. Hogweed. Hogweeds are native to Europe, but they have become naturalized in parts of the United States. Furocoumarins are toxic chemicals found in the leaves and sap of these weedy wildflowers. When the skin is exposed to sunlight, phytophotodermatitis can develop, resulting in severe blisters. You could go blind if the sap goes into your eyes. Because hogweeds resemble deadly water hemlocks, Cicada species, tall carrot-like plants with white flower clusters are best avoided. Water of hemlock, Cicada maculata. This dangerous plant has been dubbed the most brutally lethal plant, of course, because of its close relationship to poison hemlock, which is the plant that killed a lot of people. Water hemlock, for those who don't know, is a big wild flower in the carrot family that looks like Queen Anne's lace and is occasionally mistaken for edible parsnips or celery. On the other hand, it is high in the deadly toxin, which causes convulsions, abdominal aches, nausea, and death. You'll die if you consume nightshade, Atropa belladonna. Nightshade is yet another harmful and very poisonous plant. The Danes were poisoned by wine produced from the delicious fruit of the lethal nightshade plant. To be honest, the taste of the berries is often enough to tempt toddlers and unwitting adults to consume this hazardous plant. This dangerous nightshade features a shiny black fruit the size of cherries and drab green foliage. It can be found in woodland or barren areas. Atropine and scopolamine, which are present in the stems, leaves, berries, and roots of the nightshade plant, paralyze the body's involuntary muscles, including the heart. Even physical touch with the leaves might irritate the skin. Be careful with trees out there. Snakeroot is a flowering plant with a pale color, Ageratina altissima. Another deadly plant has been discovered, and it's white snakeroot, a seemingly harmless herb which killed Nancy Hanks, Abraham Lincoln's mother. This is a deadly alcohol-containing herb endemic to North America that grows in clusters of small white blossoms for people who don't know. Nancy Hanks was poisoned by merely sipping the milk of a cow who had grazed on the plant, unlike many others who have perished from directly swallowing deadly plants. It's just heartbreaking. Humans can contract the toxin from poisoned animal flesh and milk. Loss of appetite, nausea, weakness, and death are among the symptoms of milk poisoning. Thankfully, farmers are becoming more aware of this potentially fatal problem and are removing the plant from animal pastures. Beans castor, Ricinus communis. The castor bean is a beautiful African plant that is frequently used as a decorative plant. While the extracted seeds contain castor oil, they still contain the toxin ricin, which in small doses can be lethal. A youngster can be killed by 1 or 2 seeds, whereas an adult can be killed by 8 seeds. Ricin prevents the cells from making protein, resulting in severe vomiting and perhaps death. The poison was used to assassinate Georgy Markov, a Bulgarian journalist who spoke out against the government in 1978, and was also sent to a number of U.S. senators in a botched terrorism attempt. Accidental consumption by children and pets is the leading cause of death. Pea in a rosary, a Bruce precatorius. These seeds, sometimes known as jequirity beans, contain a brin, a ribosome-inhibiting protein that is exceedingly dangerous. Rosary peas are a tropical plant included in rosaries and jewelry. To be honest, the seeds are poisonous unless they are scratched, fractured, or bitten. Many jewelry makers have become ill or died after inadvertently pricking their fingers while dealing with the seeds because it takes a very short time to kill, which is less than the quantity of poison in a single seed. A brin, like ricin, inhibits the production of protein in cells and can result in organ failure in as little as 4 days, which is really terrifying. Oleander is a plant that grows naturally in the United States, Nerium oleander. The oleander, a gorgeous shrub with brilliant blossoms, was first described in ancient Rome by Pliny the Elder. Despite its appeal as a hedge and decorative plant, the fatal cardiac glycosides olendrin and nerine can be discovered in all parts of the oleander. Oleander can cause coma and death if swallowed, and skin irritation has been reported after contact with the leaves and sap. People have gotten sick from ingesting honey generated by bees who visited the blooms because the chemicals in oleander are so toxic. Oleander poisoning is not a typical cause of death due to the plant's unpleasantness. Nicotine, Nicotiana tabacum. It is the most widely grown in the world. Nicotine and anabasine, which are lethal alkaloids found in particular the leaves, can be fatal if consumed. Cigarette nicotine is widely used and is both psychoactive and addictive, despite its status as a heart toxin. Tobacco is the world's deadliest plant, killing over 5 million people each year. Can these plants kill you? The tale of a man-eating tree captivated the public imagination in the mid-19th century. Ever heard about this? Well, Carl Leech, a German explorer, reported in a report for the South Australian Register that he had seen a woman ascend the trunk of a big plant and sip its nectar while exploring Madagascar. When the plant became aware of her presence, it used its tentacles to catch her and drag her into its body. A century later, a science writer in the 1950s disproved the mythology, claiming that not only was there no such tree, but also that no one named Carl Leech had ever studied Madagascar. While a man-eating tree with tentacles does not exist, a scaled-down variant exists. Madagascar's man-eating tree may have been an exaggeration of pitcher plants found in Malaysia and other hot, humid, low-lying places. The Nepenthes plant is the largest of the pitcher plants, and its pitchers do catch small rodents and lizards, or cup leaves. The inside of the pitchers of the pitcher plant are coated with a material. This chemical reacts with the water drawn up by the plant's roots. The fragrant water attracts insects, and on rare occasions, tiny animals. When they are caught, they are unable to escape, and the plant absorbs the nutrients from the prey. While the Nepenthes pitchers are too small to contain a human, you could easily succumb to the disease that some plants cause. What do you think of these trees? Have you ever consumed any unknowingly or seen anyone who had? How did they behave? What happened? We should all protect ourselves, and even our children, from these plants and trees, as some are poisonous, as we have seen, and even harmful. Are there other plants you know that are really poisonous or harmful? Let me know in the comment section below. I will be going through all your comments. Good luck. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you liked this video. Please like and leave your comment below what you think about these trees. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and turn on the post notification for more. Stay tuned for more amazing videos.